article for this week is entitled Final Note on a Case of Extreme Isolation. It was written by Kingsley Davis, and it was written some time ago. The author recounts the case of a young child named Anna. She was a young girl who is now dead at the time of the writing, but she had endured horrible treatment by family members. She was an illegitimate child born to her mother who lived with her father. Anna's grandfather disapproved of these circumstances and the way in which Anna was born to his unwed daughter who had some physical and mental handicaps as well. And so the grandfather was simply embarrassed of Anna's existence. Anna was brought to the family farm and then to a family friend. The friend had decided against adoption when it was discovered that Anna, as an infant, had several diseases that she shouldn't have had, one of them being vaginitis. Then the next events in Anna's life saw that she was located to a children's home for about 3 weeks, very deplorable conditions, and then the agency there had notified the mother to come and get her after several additional weeks. The mother, instead of going herself, sent a couple to adopt Anna, but the agency thought so poorly when they met the couple who came to try to get Anna that they refused to allow them to do so. By the time that Anna was 4 months of age, she was again shuffled to another children's home, with her physical symptoms becoming worse. Anna then went to another home and then a private foster home before coming back finally to live with her mother and grandfather. So very heartbreaking turn of events for a young child, and she never did experience any good care whatsoever. Anna's mother had a job, and it involved a lot of hard physical labor. Her mother liked to stay out late at night, and this in part led to her becoming pregnant with Anna anyway, and again, just something that Anna's grandfather did not approve of how her mother conducted herself. Anna did not, for example, receive parental attention when her mother left and went out late at night. When Anna came to the attention of social service workers by age 6 and taken out of her home, she could not talk, she could not walk, or do anything that showed intelligence, simply from the lack of interaction and care from the adults, and that was her mother and her grandfather. Anna did make improvement, but it took significant work and therapy, but it seemed that she never really caught up to where she should have been developmentally speaking in a normal environment. Anna unfortunately died at 10 years of age. None of her behavior, even after she was rescued, ever resembled a normal child. But it was something of less than human, or something maybe best described as animalistic. Anna had no attention span, she had no concentration, she was unable to accept speech or make any sounds. After 5 months of intensive treatment, Anna did gain weight. Her hearing and vision were normal, she was able to climb stairs, but her speech was stuck in the babbling stage. Her mental age was thought to be somewhere around 19 months or less than a 2-year-old. The doctors thought that the maximum intelligence level that Anna would ever have developed would have been somewhere about a 6 to a 7-year-old child. Anna's progress continued over the next 2 years. She learned to feed herself. She made further advances in speech, but however, she was tested and referred to really as feeble-minded. The last report on Anna showed a smaller advance in her mental abilities than what they had expected to occur. Anna did have a favorite doll. She liked colors, and she responded not in sentences but phrases, and she seemed to have a pleasant disposition towards others, which was really rather remarkable considering all the negativity that she had experienced for all of her young life with her mother and grandfather. Now, it is an interesting question to consider of whether Anna could have recovered fully, but because of her early death, that question would never be answered. Now, Anna did have some genetic obstacles from her mother that would need to be taken into account. So her mother did have some mental disability as well, so Anna probably had some of that genetically passed on to her, or it's possible that could have been that way. Now, Anna was also isolated, and that could have caused some of her lack of progress mentally, and that's also, a big thing that the study does talk about. But those two things combined, genetics and environment, really hit Anna hard. What would Anna have been like if she had a normal upbringing from her mother? Well, that would have been wonderful to have had happened to Anna, but she would have been much better off than the condition in which she was found. Now, Anna's grandfather was college educated. Her mother only had an 8th grade education. Later testing found her mother's IQ to be somewhere around 50. Anna's mother was in her early 30s, and Anna's father, not the grandfather, but Anna's supposed father, was 74, and while Anna's mother was 32, and so that led to Anna's birth. Now, another child that has lived in isolation is Isabel, and that was mentioned also in the article, but she was also found and got the attention of social services and then received significant therapy to help her as well. Isabel's mother was deaf and mute and had spent most of her time in a dark room. Isabel had no speech and she communicated only by gestures. She did not enjoy the presence or company of men. She was afraid of them. Isabel was able to make rapid progress despite having some difficulty at first, but she was able to catch up and she was able to attend regular school and was able to fit in well with other children. So the isolation up to about age 6 seems to be devastating to children, but they still, despite that, can learn language. Now, the maximum amount of isolation that one can endure and still recover is unknown, but some would estimate that it could be as much as 15 years. And Kingsley does talk some in the article of separating the biological and genetic factors from those that are environmental or social in nature. So it is a very sad article to know that people have experienced that, and going further beyond the article, we can think of daily situations in life that the chapter talked about too, of where people are isolated, and we really know that that is just not good for people at all, at any stage of life. So whether it be isolation in prison or something else, it just takes a toll on human beings. And also animals as well. We can see that by the research in our textbook too. Hope this helps as you start to write and post your response to the discussion board.
Thank you.